6:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The morning news edited by Danushka Madhavala, read by Sound Thavam. Christmas dawns tonight. The Archbishop of Colombo has asked Catholics to give priority to religious observances this Christmas and keep celebrations only among family members and help people with COVID-19. The Gazette notification banning single-use plastics and polythene has been referred to the Attorney General's Department for further advice. The public has been requested to refrain from engaging in pilgrimages to Sripada in January 2021. The water level of the Parakrama Samudra has increased due to heavy rain experienced in the area. In world news, Trump vetoes unconstitutional defence bill. In sports, England cricket team allowed to fly to Sri Lanka. Christmas dawns tonight. Special masses will be held worldwide at midnight tonight. The Archbishop of Colombo, His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit, has asked Catholics to give priority to religious observances this Christmas, keep celebrations only among family members, and help people with COVID-19. His Eminence Cardinal Ranjit added that in this year's celebrations of Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, Christmas services will be held every hour, starting at 6 p.m. on the 24th of December. He has also asked the media to refrain from broadcasting programs that taint the true meaning of Christmas. The celebrations, including Christmas Eve Mass, will be limited to 50 people following strict health regulations. The water level of the Parakrama Samudra has increased due to the heavy rain experienced in the area. It has gone up by 110,000 cubic feet. 2 sluice gates were opened yesterday. The irrigation department says that several low-lying areas may experience floods. Meanwhile, the water levels of many reservoirs in Ulhitiya, Rankinda, Mahaveli have gone up due to heavy rain experienced in the areas. It has gone up by 11 meters and some sluice gates have been opened. The irrigation technical officer Deepta Jayasekara says the water levels are being observed around the clock. Tourism Minister Prasanna Ranatunga said the Mattala Rajapaksa International Airport will be developed on a logistic hub for cargo and import and export services in the future. He added that special attention will be paid to this while making the MRIA an active contributor to Sri Lanka's aviation operations. The MRIA will also be developed as one of the best tourist destinations in the world. Ranatunga said that a special plan has been put forward to convert the MRIA as an active airport in the region before the pandemic spread in the country. The MRIA is also currently being used to repatriate Sri Lankan migrant workers from abroad. Accordingly, over 15,000 passengers have arrived in the country through the MRIA so far. The governor of the Eastern Province, Anuradha Yahampath, requests the general public to limit their visits to the Trincomalee district as the health officials warned that there is a surge in coronavirus infections in the district. Therefore, the governor requests the public and officials to avoid visiting the district unless it is utmost important. The decision was taken last morning at a meeting held at the Eastern Province Governor's Secretariat. The meeting was convened with the sole purpose of finding ways and means to control the corona outbreak in the province. The governor requests the security forces to take stern legal action against anyone who violates the quarantine law. The Ministry of Health says that another 582 patients who were previously tested positive for COVID-19 have recovered and been discharged from hospitals within the last 24 hours. This brings the total number of COVID-19 recoveries in the country to 29,882. A total of 38,059 cases of coronavirus have been reported in Sri Lanka so far, while 7,994 of them are currently under medical care. Sri Lanka also witnessed 183 fatalities due to the virus. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
December, a range of unmatched benefits with People's Credit Cards from People's Bank.
Defence Secretary Major General retired Kamal Gunaratne said that operations to curb illegal drug smuggling rings in the island will be further strengthened next year. He said that public cooperation helped the authorities conduct a number of successful drug raids this year. Responding to a question from the media, the Defence Secretary said All operations against the underworld criminals and the illegal drug trade will continue with greater zeal and effectiveness. The Ratana Sutra chanting organised by the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation will take place this evening at the Mirichavila Siri Silavimala Subhadramaya Temple. The Ratana Sutra chanting will be held under the guidance of the chief monk of the temple, the Venerable Kirinde Karunasarathera. It will be broadcast at 6:30 p.m. over the SLBC Sinhala Commercial Service, City FM and regional services. That's local news.
December, a range of unmatched benefits with People's Credit Cards from People's Bank. Discounts up to 60% and interest-free installment plans from selected merchants.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Vidya Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vidya Mahatmya.
The Environment Minister Mahinda Amaravira says that the Gazette notification for the prohibition of single-use disposable plastics and polythene has been referred to the Attorney General's Department for further advice. The minister expressed his views addressing a media briefing held at the Ministry of Environment yesterday. Minister Amaravira stated that the Gazette notification banning the use of discarded plastics and polythene waste, which is proposed to be implemented from 2021, has been drafted and submitted to the Attorney General's Department for further instructions. In this regard, the Ministry of Environment had submitted a cabinet memorandum to ban them from effect from January 1st, 2021. However, it has been proposed to give some grace period for the relevant manufacturers to look for alternative products. That was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vidya Mahatmya. Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
In Watchlight, the Secretary of the Nuwara district announced that the public has been requested to refrain from engaging in pilgrimages to Sripada in January 2021. The request has been made by the COVID-19 Prevention Committee of Nuwara and came to you in Watchlight. On to a bulletin of world news. In the headlines, Japan starts clinical trial of antibody drug. Trump vetoes unconstitutional defence bill. EU-UK Brexit trade deal expected as cabinet briefed. Japanese institutions have started a clinical trial for a COVID-19 drug containing antibodies collected from people who recovered from the disease as part of an international program. The program is funded by the US National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. From Japan, the National Center for Global Health and Medicine and Fujita Health University jointly launched a trial. The National Japanese Center says the drug called hyperimmune intravenous immunoglobulin is being administered to 10 patients who need to be hospitalized. Their conditions will be monitored for about 1 month. The drug's effectiveness will be examined based on data from participating countries. US President Donald Trump has vetoed a $740 billion defense spending bill that Congress passed this month. Mr. Trump is objecting to provisions that limit troop withdrawals from Afghanistan and Europe and remove Confederate leaders' names from military bases. He also wanted it to repeal a liability shield for social media companies. Lawmakers passed the measure with an overwhelmingly majority and could override the president's rejection. Bills passed by Congress need a president's signature to become law. On rare occasions, a president may choose to veto or reject legislation because of some policy disagreement. The EU and the UK appear close to striking a post-Brexit trade deal, with Boris Johnson briefing his cabinet on the progress of talks in Brussels. Disputes over fishing rights and future business competition rules have been the major hurdles to agreement during months of often fraught talks. But BBC reports that Downing Street has now seemed very confident of a deal. Negotiators are now thought to be thrashing out the final details. The official announcement of a deal is expected on Thursday morning. The document is thought to be around 2,000 pages long, with both sides having until 31st December, when the UK leaves EU trading rules, to get it approved by parliamentarians. Back to the headlines of this bulletin of world news. Japan starts clinical trial of antibody drug. Trump vetoes unconstitutional defence bill. And the EU-UK Brexit trade deal expected as cabinet briefed. Moving on to development news. Another drug made locally under the New Drugs for a New Country programme to produce 50% of Sri Lanka's total pharmaceuticals requirement locally was launched yesterday by the State Pharmaceuticals Manufacturing Corporation. The launching ceremony of the new drug and the opening of the new manufacturing facility of the SPMC was held yesterday at the SPMC premises in Ratmalana under the patronage of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. That's development news. On to sports. England will be allowed to fly to Sri Lanka for next month's tests. They will fly on a chartered plane and take coronavirus tests before departure and on their arrival in Sri Lanka on 3rd January. They will then spend 10 days in a biosecure bubble before the first of 2 tests starts in Galle on the 14th of January. Sri Lanka Cricket says England are satisfied with the arrangements. The country suspended all direct flights from Britain on Tuesday. That's sports news. And looking at business news, the new Director General of the Board of Investments, Sanjay Mohotala, said that despite the COVID-19 pandemic, Sri Lanka secured over $800 million foreign direct investments for 2020. He said that in addition there were commitments for another $200 million for the year. Mohotala said that 2021 outlook looks impressive with several mega development projects in the pipeline. One area that will bring in around $150 million would be in the cement manufacturing and bagging sector, with plans for Kanke Santure and Hambantota. That's business news. We look at economic news next.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Hello, Puta, did you land already?
We're in transit and our flight got delayed.
How is Shani? Poor thing with her pregnancy.
Calm down, everything is sorted. Why, I have my LOLC World Card with me. We are at the VIP lounge.
LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
The sterling pound surged yesterday on hopes that a post-Brexit trade deal between the UK and EU was close. Sterling climbed more than 1% against the dollar to top 1.35 and 0.75% against the euro. There were reports that Downing Street sources said a deal could be completed later on Wednesday, but that it was far from certain. Shares and sterling were up earlier in the day after France overturned its travel ban for some hauliers. And that's economic news. Moving on to the weather report to conclude, the Met Department says showers will occur at times in the eastern and Uva provinces and in the Nuwara district. Several spells of showers will occur in the northern and north-central provinces. Showers or thundershowers will occur at several places elsewhere after 1 p.m. Heavy falls above 100 millimeters can be expected at some places in the Sabaragamu and southern provinces and in the Kalutara district. To conclude this morning news broadcast, a recap of the headlines. Christmas dawns tonight. The Archbishop of Colombo has asked Catholics to give priority to religious observances this Christmas and keep celebrations only among family members and help people with COVID-19. The Gazette notification banning the single-use plastics and polythene has been referred to the Attorney General's Department for further advice. The public has been requested to refrain from engaging in pilgrimages to Sripada in January 2021. The water level of the Parakrama Samudra has increased due to the heavy rain experienced in the area. Trump vetoes unconstitutional defence bill. And the England cricket team allowed to fly to Sri Lanka. That concludes this bulletin of news, and now it's back to your good friend and mine and your host this Thursday morning, Victor Raj, to keep you entertained. Good morning, Victor, and it's all yours.